I applied to 3,000 jobs over the last year, and I managed to get a full-time job with no experience. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can do it too. This video is going to consist of 3 parts. 1, my background, so you get more context, my lore, backstory. 2, it's going to be tips on when applying for jobs. 3, what I would do differently this time so it doesn't take 3,000 applications. I came to the US in 2019. I was still getting my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. Plus, I was still in my 3rd year. I graduated in 2021. I asked a lot of people early on in the US and online to see if having an international degree plus one internship, an international internship, will get me a job here. And they told me that the chances are really slim. I better get something from here, either experience or an education from the US. It will help me massively. So coming to the US opened up a different opportunity. I can either continue further my education, doing a postgraduate master's degree in engineering or any other field, so that I can leverage that to get an internship or somehow to get a full-time job from it. Now it came down to whether I choose to pursue a master's degree in engineering fields, or I can switch it up. I can have another option in my career. Long story short, I chose a master's in finance. Won't go deep into it. I can do a whole separate video about it. Let's continue. So now I'm 1 year into the master's degree program. No internships, no connections, and nothing to do. So I had to strap in, trying to find something as soon as possible. Otherwise, I would have wasted also this degree. Now you understand and have full context of my background. Let's get into it. Okay, now tips when applying. So step 1 is clean your resume. Make it look professional. No grammatical errors. No uneven spacing or anything like that. I have a link in the description for the one I used. Really simple. Plug in all the info you got. Step 2, you need to tailor your resume for the skills that's in the job description. Trust me, I learned that the hard way, applied a lot. So you need to take those hard skills and soft skills in the job description. Find the keywords. Simple step. Copy and paste job description, ChatGPT. Find keywords, get the keywords. Way you can put them in your resume, and the ATS system will match it this way. Now, for the contents of your actual resume, what I did, I used the courses that I took, their projects, and tried to show myself using those skills that were highlighted in the job description. So, for example, I needed Power BI. I didn't know how to use Power BI. What did I do? YouTube, understand Power BI, build a few projects, try to implement it, then take that, put it in the resume, say, hey, I know how to use Power BI. I used it. I did this, and this. So you've got specific bullet points, what you did with Power BI, showing you know that skill and you can implement it. Step 3, and it's connecting with people on LinkedIn. Extremely important. I didn't understand that at first. I was like, hey, who's going to connect with some random guy? But you can connect with previous alumni. You can connect with people in the companies you want to work for. Plus, what's important about it is actually asking for their help. Don't go asking for referrals. No one's going to give a referral. Who's going to back you when they don't know you, no experience? So they're taking an extreme risk when trying, okay, I'm going to give you a referral. It's not going to happen. They won't respond. And this way you're starting the connection by asking them for something. It won't work. And you ask, how do I connect? What do you ask for? You ask for help and guidance through tips on interviewing, tips for your resume. This way, they can actually give you actionable advice. They'll look at your resume and see, hey, you don't have this specific skill. Rewrite this specific sentence. Your resume seems cluttered, or I don't understand what's going on. And most probably the first message you send, someone won't respond, but that's okay. Just keep sending messages. I think the limit, I tested it, it's I believe 20 per day or 30 per day. You can send connections and messages. So that's what I kept on doing. I'd send preferably to higher level employees, so like seniors, hiring managers preferably. They would give you actual advice that you could benefit from in terms of what they look for in candidates as a person, in terms of soft skills. When you contact people that have the same career that you want, for example, they started out at that position and then they grew into a manager position. So they understand the path, they understand the skills needed and how you should act. So you should ask them for advice on interview process. They would give you actual tips, what they look for in candidates. You can ask them to review your resume. I've had a lot of help in reviewing my resume through this process. I'd say, hey, I'm connecting. I saw this that you work this position. I wanted to work in this kind of area. So look at my resume, see if I lack any specific skill, or you think it's lacking in any way, tell me. They'll go on, review my resume, and then give me a few bullet points. Some people actually just want to help. So that's your key. When you have no experience and nothing, is connecting with other people. This way, give you a chance. And the final step, the actual most important step, if you hear this, nothing else is important. And it's, you have to do it over and over again. You have to keep on applying, keep on sending messages on LinkedIn, keep trying to connect with people, because you have no other option. You don't have experience, you don't have the connections, you have to keep applying. Don't take rejections to heart. It's just business. Simply, that means that the company did not match with you. Simple as that. You gotta keep going over and over until it works. It took me over 6 months of applying, and I believe 1,300 applications till I got my first internship. Crazy numbers. That's why I've been through a lot of trial and error. I'm trying to save you time so that you wouldn't have to apply as much. You do have to apply consistently. Take it as a full-time job. Don't say, hey, I applied just 1-2 jobs today and I feel good. No, it won't work. Not in this economy currently. So you gotta apply as much as possible and not lose hope. The first internship is always hard to get, but what's harder is the first full-time job after that. So as soon as you secure that one, you're good. Even though it's hard, you'll spend a lot of time applying, but it's possible. I did it, and look at my background. It's not the best. Part 3, 3 things I would do differently. 1, if you're still in school, don't delay applying to internships. I took 1 year and didn't apply anything. I didn't have any internship. So I graduated from a 2-year program with only 1 internship. That's really bad. Preferably, in a perfect scenario, I'd have 3 or 4 internships. Summer, winter, summer, winter. Just keep it going as much as possible. This way you'll graduate with almost a year of experience. Now, to the other side, the guys that already graduated. What's your hope? As I said, the projects, make them look good, using courses and skills from the job description. That's your best option. Plus, you keep on applying. You don't stop. Now 2, which is a similar point, it's trying to connect with people on LinkedIn early. You try to connect with people with similar job title you want or similar career trajectory they had. And they would actually help you. And I'll try to take as much advice from them as possible. I started this later on after applying a lot. So this way, use it early on when you're still freshly applying. So you try to build connections early on as much as possible. Take as much advice as possible. As I said, with people with similar job title, hiring managers. And through this process, I actually got 2 interviews, which is crazy. Even though I did not ask for an interview, I simply asked for advice for interviewing, advice for skills I needed, what I lacked for this specific job. So the managers saw that I'm actually putting in the work, trying to reach out, trying to build those skills. They saw that, okay, the background doesn't fit, but he's trying to compensate for that background. He's trying to build something. So they will actually, some managers give you a shot and try, and they will give you an interview. So don't miss that chance. You're leaving that opportunity on the side. So some of them saw that I'm trying to become better, building relevant skills, and they saw, okay, he's putting in the work, so potentially he's a viable candidate. That's when I got an interview. So it's not by asking for the interview, it's simply by asking for advice. And part 3, something I would do differently, which is being prepared for interviews. I now realize how hard it is to actually get the first step in. They come back with automatic rejections. They come back finally, hey, phone screening, you can pass that one, hopefully, if you're prepared enough. But then I didn't realize and practice enough for the interviews, understanding what they want in terms of communication, soft skills, hard skills, how to talk about your projects, how to talk about your achievements. So I didn't know any of that. So it took a lot of time for me to apply and then get those interviews. And then during those interviews, I'd fumble the bag because I was spending too much time here, not thinking about the second step in the process. So what you need to do, it save you a lot of time. Get prepared as soon as you get an interview. I can make a whole video about the interviewing process, what to do, questions they ask, how to answer them, because I've been through a lot at this point. But let's summarize the top three. One, focus on researching the company. Truly understand what they do, their products, their mission statement, what they care about. So you can relay that to the recruiter, hiring manager, that you're aligned with the company. Two, focus on the job description. Truly understand what the day to day will look like. If there's a misconception when you're communicating with the recruiter or the hiring manager, and you sort of say that, hey, I'm expecting to do day to day, it will be this and this, and it's completely off about what the actual day to day will look like, that's a red flag for them. They're like, hey, this guy does not understand what's going on, we won't choose him. And then three is to understand basic technical questions. I know you're entry level, you have no experience, but what you do have is your education. So they will expect you to understand the basics. So they will ask you some basic technical questions most of the time. And they know that you're still early on in your journey. You will learn most of the skills and most of the knowledge on the job when you're early on and entry level. But that's okay. But the basics, you need to understand them. And you can get the technical questions they have for that specific interview just Googling the company name, position, and then interview questions. You'd see technical questions. This way you can be prepared for them and everything will work out.